So, usually I am an organizer of conferences like this one. Exceptionally, I will be a speaker. Just because 1 year ago, when we created the Global Editors Network, there were two basic ideas. First, to work together, all platforms. Stupid to be blocked into silos, the print industry, the broadcast industry, the pure players, including now pure players on mobile. They don't have website, they have mobile, just mobile. So this idea of to be cross-platform was obvious. The second idea, and it was more difficult to apply, was to say we want to create an editor's lab. What does it mean? It means that journalists are using tools, are using software developed by non-journalists. And sometimes it's great, but sometimes journalists could say, why not this functionality? Why not that? Why is it impossible? But they are blocked by technology, by software. And so here we said, we want to create tools developed by journalists. And we considered that it was a priority for a new association of journalists. And it is the reason why we created the Editors Lab in May 2012. Not alone, because here there was no money at all in this young association. As you know, at this period the membership was free, so money was near from zero in the association, and we asked Google to help us to sponsor this idea of Editors Lab. So I think there are 3 or 4 people from Google in this room, but nothing possible without this sponsorship of Google. And they agreed with this idea of free software. We are a community of editors. You have newsrooms. And here the goal was to create free tools. Not only a journalistic tool developed by journalists, but a free tool for newsrooms. And I think it is the main advantage of the tool we developed, Gen Live Desk. It is free. At the moment, you have very powerful tools, fantastic tools developed by BBC. We saw that, so it was very impressive. So big newsrooms can produce their own live blogging tool. New York Times did it, and so on. So The Guardian, and this afternoon we have this session with The Guardian. But you have also private companies. You have Cover It Live, not here today, and you have Scribble Live. Scribble Live producing very sophisticated tools, very good tools, no doubt. But what we wanted to do for newsrooms who cannot afford to develop by themselves this tool, or who cannot afford to pay private companies, that to say, here is the app, here you can now take it, implement it in your content management system, and just make it, develop live blogging. So, and today it is the launching of the Gen Live Desk. So this first tool developed by journalists. We had meetings with Vorarlberger Nachrichten, we had meetings with The Guardian, with Le Monde, with BBC was involved. So all of them saying, yes, we can share views, we can share ideas, we can give you some guidelines here, do that, don't do that. And then when we had those guidelines, we asked SourceFabric, and here Douglas is one of the two CEOs of SourceFabric, and we decided to work. We decided to work with SourceFabric, but before we asked a lot of companies saying, can you develop that? No, yes, what is the cost? Blah, blah. And finally, we found really the same spirit with SourceFabric. So Douglas will not only explain what is Gen Live Desk, but also the spirit of SourceFabric. So Douglas, you have the floor.
Thank you, Bertrand. My name is Douglas Arellanes. I am actually one of 3 founders of SourceFabric. SourceFabric is a nonprofit foundation which develops technological tools for news media and then makes them available as open source. And we think that the open source model is actually very important, and there are quite a few reasons for that. I mean, as we've seen today on this panel, I think everybody's in agreement that live blogging is already a major part of news coverage, and it's here to stay. But at the same time, we all know that news organizations have to deal with limited budgets, limited resources, and this reality is something that we also have to work with. At the same time, we've got journalists who are asking for tools that help them do their jobs easier, and this demand for better administration is something that's very important. Now, what we do in SourceFabric is that we develop tools and then we create a community around those tools so that people, you know, we've heard already that various organizations will develop a technology tool in-house and then they have their own tool. In our case, what we do is we actually create consortia of like-minded organizations who take part in the development of the tools. So LiveDesk is one of these, and what we wanted to show today, and I can actually show a video of it. We don't have a lot of connectivity up here at the podium, so we're going to have to show a video of what we're doing right now. But what we've created is a tool for live blogging which is free and open source and is actually being used today. There are 2 bloggers in the back, and I'd like to give them a shout out by name. From the Swiss digital-first news startup Tageswoche, we have David Bauer, and also from SourceFabric, we have Adam Thomas. And they're in the back basically using this tool. So what they're doing is they're writing their posts, just like a tweet or whatever, and they click Save Post, and it goes into the timeline. Now this is pretty much the standard approach that most of these live tools use. What we did as well was that we decided to actually study a lot of the different tools that are available so that we can actually make some improvements on those things. So that we can take the best parts of a lot of these different systems and combine them together. For example, if you notice on the left-hand side of the screen, we have integration with Twitter, with Flickr, with Google, and a number of other tools as well. So what happens then is that reporters have the ability to curate their live content, not only coming from social networks, but also coming from their own reporters. Another very important thing that we have with the LiveDesk tool is the ability for the editors to create some context around what they've got. So this is where things like being able to do a Google search and then drag that over to the live stream also is quite useful. The same thing goes for any tweets that you have. So you might be able to see this live where people are putting things up on the Gen 2012 hashtag, for example, today. Actually, then you just take that and drag it over as well. Now, you can see this live on the Tageswoche blog, and if you actually check the Gen 2012 hashtag, those of you lucky enough to have some connectivity in the room, you can see this actually in action on a real live site, on the Tageswoche site right now. So the idea with this is that right now this is a very alpha version of the software. There was a journalist in Kyrgyzstan. We work a lot in developing countries, and this journalist from Kyrgyzstan says, "So what is it that you really do?" And I said, "Well, if you're James Bond, I'm Q." So, you got the exploding laser pen and all that kind of stuff. And what we do is we make those kind of tools and we hand them out to people. Now, the point is that this is an alpha version of the software. So this is very, very rough and very, it's unstable. But one of the calls that we want today, what we would like to actually ask you as Gen members, is to get involved in the process of refining the tool and making it really as great as it can be. So with that, what you can do is you can actually get involved in this process with us. We have an open call for beta testers and an open call for people to start actually using the software and getting involved in the process. So we're around, and I'm looking forward to actually talking with you. Tomorrow we have a master class where we'll be going into detail about how this actually works and what it does and all the cool things that you can do with it. So thank you for that, and I look forward to seeing you there.
It is an alpha version, but there are also Gen genes, in the sense that we ask SOURCEFabric to develop a tool that will allow to work together, different newsrooms working together. If we take this example of the French community, so imagine Le Temps in Switzerland, Le Monde in France, Le Soir in Belgium, working together on this jubilé. For instance, take this example of next week jubilé of the Queen in the UK. And they could, through this tool, they can work together, and evidently a news that is relevant for French people is not relevant for a Swiss. And so they can just click, say, I take this posting from Le Monde, I refuse this posting, so they can personalize, customize the live blogging, but they are doing the same story together. Imagine another story, a revolution in Syria. We are in a world of shrinking newsrooms. A newspaper, a radio, TV station, they can send 2, 3, 5 reporters, not 20. Imagine a tool covering Syria in French with 20 reporters, one in Alep, one in Hama, one in Damas, another here and here in small villages. It's much richer. It's exactly what we want to do. And so we want to offer that to editors, to the community of editors. And really thank you, Douglas, for helping us, for co-producing this software. And we can, so you say masterclass tomorrow, 11? Yes, I think so. Tomorrow 11, I don't remember, but tomorrow a special masterclass in Salon Chéret, just close to this room, and the software will be ready with the guidelines, with the brochure, with everything in September. So we miss the Olympic Games. It's a pity, but we will be ready in September. And at the moment, you can ask me, ask Douglas, ask Antoine Laurent, also in charge of the Gen Live desk, and so we are ready to answer your questions.